There, I'm Benjamin Piper, also goes by Golden Bacon. I'm here today with Freeced, a musician slash artist that does a little bit of rapping, a little bit of singing, and all that stuff. But Freeced, how are you?
I'm so good. And I'm so glad that I get to do part of my own introduction because, and I don't blame anyone for getting this wrong, but it's Freest one syllable rhymes with beast. Uh, but what's funny about the name is that it comes out of an original mispronunciation of an old artist name that I had. So it's always evolving. In the future, it may be Free Seed, or any of the other iterations that I hear back from people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had a friend that I did recently. David Gudel is his last name. It's very German. It's very like all that stuff, and it's pronounced like something completely different. So it's always changing.
Yeah.
So yeah. So my first question, just to go right off the bat, where did you get your start in the music world? What made you want to become an artist?
Oh my God. Uh Probably the first music that I heard that made me want to make music, um, aside from like instrumental stuff, because I grew up playing the piano, and I was always just like making up stuff. Um, because my homework was boring. Like my assigned piano stuff was boring. So I just be like, well, what can I like just think of that's fun to play? So I was just always like making up stuff in my head and then like waiting till I got to the piano and trying to play it. But like as far as yeah, like stuff that made me think like, oh, I could make my own music and put it online. That was like old fandom music. So like kind of like old like Eurobeat, Living Tombstone era. Like, I mean, back when they were doing like back when they were
Hell yeah.
mostly known for like pony music.
Oh shit. Okay.
And
Before FNAF or after?
oh, way before. I mean,
Really?
way before, yeah.
Wow. Okay, we're going way back.
Yeah. We're talking like
Damn.
TLT was one person.
Shoot. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's way, way back. I think that
Like
was before me. No,
just
no, not that far back, but yeah.
if people remember a song called September by Living Tombstone, it was like back when like that song was coming out and before.
Yeah.
So when I've been like in fandom music and like in music fandoms, I guess, but like
Hmm.
it's funny, the majority of my engagement with the online world, like by now, just time spent has been in like fandom music spaces.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like as I mean, we saw what happened literally only 3 years ago, or less actually, with the Amazing Digital Circus, Lackadaisy coming out, all these different shows coming out all at once. I think fandom music has just exploded. For sure. I mean, like you said, Tombstone with FNAF. Of course, there's the longest solo ever, Oreo. There's a
Yeah,
couple other people
just want to
I'm
say real
missing.
quick, like
Yeah.
shout out Dean. I mean, like everyone you've listed has been like doing super well, but like shout out Dean, especially last year for just like breaking through on YouTube, especially
Oh,
after being
absolutely.
like a creator for so long.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of stealing my second question here because, like, so my next question is simply like, I know you make, theme music, fandom music, Lackadaisy, Ramshackle, The Amazing Digital Circus, all that stuff. But why do you like to make music covering those topics instead of making your own music? Why do you like fandom music?
Yeah. I think it's like uh there's like an interesting set of perceptions that people have around like nerdcore and fandom music
Hmm.
and what it is and what it isn't. Like in my mind, the distinction between like my own music and fandom music has always been like pretty thin. In the beginning, I think I found it easier to write about stuff that I was interested in and like the stuff I didn't consider the stuff in my life at the time to be very interesting. So I found interesting things in like just my favorite shows and whatever else. And like wrote about that because it was just easy to be inspired that way. But like, I
Hmm.
don't know, a lot of my favorite music. Sorry, let me get a sip of coffee here.
Oh, you're all
A
good.
lot of my favorite music, growing up, like regardless of like really what it was, like what the genre was inspired by like pretty nerdy stuff.
Mm.
um like, but I'm talking like Led Zeppelin, like bands like that, where like their songs are extremely mainstream, but they're inspired by stuff like Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
um
For
you know,
sure.
have entire like passages in the like middle of their song that's just like a narrator going like, but Gollum stole the ring. Like it's super nerdy shit that would be set to like probably an AMV of the animated version of the Lord of the Rings. It probably was when it came out. I don't even know, because those are both pretty old. But like, so I think that like, for me, I've always just found it really easy to tie in stuff like that I'm feeling but don't really know how to express very well,
Hmm.
with the like narrative structure and like visible character, almost like it's almost like, especially with AMVs, because that's kind of where I got my start in nerdcore, was like just in the sort of anime like AMV boom. Say like the Rustage golden era.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to say it was like Rustage's peak, but just literally just like the kind of when Rustage defined what nerdcore was
Hmm. For
on the
sure.
internet, and the AMVs are doing really well. Oh my god, see if I can track with the beginning of my like paragraph enough to know where I was going with this.
I mean, whatever.
Oh, but like, yes, so like, uh yeah, I think one thing that caught me really early on was the fact that I had, and sometimes still have, like trouble expressing my especially just like my emotions, or my mental state,
Hmm.
to other people. And I never felt like, I always felt disingenuous writing about like my own like my own thoughts and feelings in their own, like without any like, um without any veneer, I guess.
Yeah.
um Without any like kind of additional like texture to them, or like something else. I don't know, it's like I needed it's like I initially needed a screen. Like I
Hmm.
needed to be able to almost like a almost uh like way back stuff like my Zenitsu AMV, and that
Yeah.
song was very much like, at the time it was like I was able to point to this character on the screen, point to this like AMV footage, and then like pair it with the
Hmm.
music I made and be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. I
Yeah.
feel I feel
I
like
personally
this.
love that in shows because
Yeah.
like it doesn't tell you right away like everything that's going on. You got to connect the dots yourself, kind of
Yeah.
thing. You're
I
kind
think,
of viewed in the character.
yeah, I think sometimes for people like me who like have, who struggle to express themselves, sometimes outside of our art, um it can be like, um sorry, I got these
You're all good.
trains of thought just like meeting each other
I'm the same way.
halfway.
I'm honestly the same way half the time.
um but I think it can be, ah oh, I should ask if I'm allowed to cuss on this. I don't know if I already
You
have.
can cuss. There's
Okay.
no issue there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there is no issue there.
I was just about to cuss at forgetting what I was gonna say. If I find that thread, I'll pick it back up.
Exactly. So just moving on, just keeping it going. What is more fun or easier to make, a song or a rap song?
Hmm. Um, Again, that's a funny thing where I don't draw a distinction between the two, but I guess you mean
Mhm.
like one where I sing or one where I rap.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like, I guess they can't be ranked to me. Like they're all like each one is different from each other one. Some rap songs feel like the process for making them was more like non-rap songs that I've made. And vice versa. Like, I don't know. I can never really tell what my process is going to be.
Yeah.
But as far as like sort of what I feel like the heart and soul of my like existence as a musician is, I think that hip hop, and like rap
Mhm.
especially, has always been super like super important to me since I began
Mhm.
making music. And certainly like when I started the Freeced channel, like everything initially when I started it, I my goal was just to, or not my goal, but like what I did initially was I only rapped, and if I sang, it was like with heavy filters and tuning because I didn't want people to think
Hmm.
of me like initially or primarily as a singer because I really wanted to identify that like hip hop, both like the music and the culture surrounding it, had really impacted me at a young age, and I think that like it would be it would be like I always feel like it would be doing a disservice to like all of the music that I ever make if I
Sure.
ever like um move too far away from hip hop. Like I feel like I have to incorporate it somehow in
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
everything
of
that I do
course.
to some extent, just because it's like it's helped me so much, and like I feel like I have to like pay respect to the to the founders of hip hop and like the people that influenced me so much.
Yeah,
So like I don't know. I guess like when I'm writing a rap song, that's when I feel like I really am. It's like that's when I feel like I get to be a lot more direct with my words. So sometimes that can
for
be more
sure.
cathartic. Um, but
Yeah.
it's almost like a different type of catharsis. It's like with a rap song, it's like I'm mostly trying to say something directly and make it rhyme
Yeah,
and make
for
it sound
sure.
like funky. um and that can be something that I'm like very passionate about, and that's usually when I can express like if I want to be like pissed off at something, then I can rap about it. um Whereas usually, and I do some of each, but like usually um singing is like often a way that I can translate like big emotions into sort of like poetic like imagery. So I tend to be a lot more metaphorical with
Yeah,
my
for sure.
things that I sing, and like I tend to make things a bit
Yeah.
more flowery, and like so the language that I use tends to be kind of different, but I think that they bleed over into each other, and I would say that all in all,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
like
was
I said.
pretty evident in Bunny Problems for sure. Uh, it's pretty. Hey, there is a sub choice of words. But moving on. Speaking
Yeah.
of hip hop, who is your favorite artist? That's a curious question I have.
Hmm. Um, so like, yeah, I would say when I was first like learning to rap, um, the like probably like the biggest influence that I had starting
Mm,
out would have been like probably, I mean, like just very simply like Biggie, Nas,
mhm.
Cool G Rap,
Okay.
um, like just sort of like old school artists, definitely like conscious artists like Tupac.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I listen and a lot of like New York like lyrical stuff, and also just like West Coast Underground. I would listen to just like long playlists and like beat tapes and stuff, and yeah, I would
Yeah.
listen to like the beat tapes and the mixtapes, and I would like listen to the like super lyrical conscious rap um while I worked my like boring jobs, and then I would like listen to just the beats, and I would like try to like I would like try to say something like equally as profound as what I was hearing, and like always fall super short, but it did help me write stuff later on.
Sure.
So like my
So no
favorite
Kanye West.
I wasn't like,
Mr. Old West.
I mean, you know, to give the man his props, like hugely influential, but
Yeah.
I was never,
Graduation album.
yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
mean, legendary. Like, I was never like super into his music at the time, just because
Okay.
I just didn't happen to
Fair.
be like,
Fair.
I was just into like other branches of the form at that point. But
For sure.
like, I mean, obviously, you can't go without hearing
Hmm.
certain artists, and like
Yeah.
for sure,
So,
no matter what somebody becomes, like you can never deny their influence.
oh, absolutely. So, moving on with that, what's your
Oh,
favorite
sorry,
song?
sorry. I
Oh, sorry.
actually
Yeah,
realized
you
I
go.
didn't actually say like who my favorite artist is.
Well, you named like Biggie and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I said they were like influential. I would say my favorite, like, I have probably like two favorite like rappers as far as like people who are doing it currently that have been pretty consistent. And one would be
Hmm.
Dopey Ziegler, and the other would be Joey Z. And those two have worked together a lot,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
they're just super inventive, and just their music in particular, Dopey Ziegler's album, The Signal and the Noise. Sorry,
Yeah.
Dopey Ziegler and Variant's album, Signal and the Noise, was massive to me, and you can still hear like remnants of that album in my flow and my songs because I make tons of references to it.
That's awesome, dude. That's great. So what do you have a favorite song in particular? I know it's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, just like a favorite song at all, or one
General.
of mine, or both, or either. Or is that a future
Just
question?
general for now. That's another
Okay,
question.
okay. General favorite song, yeah. For a long time, my favorite song, like that has words to it, has been "The Show Must Go On" by Queen. Um,
Yeah, hell
it's
yeah.
from their what could be considered their last album, but I think technically they're like second to last album.
hmm
Um, the one before Made in Heaven. And it was like, yeah, it's just like a really impactful song, I think, because like it's such a like the lyrics are just so true. Like
Yeah,
and Freddie's
100%.
like singing about, what he's going through at the time, and it's just
No
incredibly raw and
shit.
incredibly real. And that song is always just like, yeah, it's always been a song that I go to when I just like really need not exactly encouragement, but like doggedness almost, just like
hmm
yeah, just the will to carry on, I guess. It's something about Queen has always really like inspired me to
Yeah.
sort of just pick myself back up again.
I mean, it's such a shame. I wish Queen was still around. Of course, we still have a couple of the band players still around, but like, Freddie Mercury passing away in 91 and stuff like that. Like you said, the show must go on, and that was kind of a homage to like saying the show must go on.
Yeah, as I recall,
So
that song was written for him. I don't remember if that was Brian May that wrote it, or maybe John Deacon. I want to say Brian May, but
I was gonna say Brian May, so it might
um,
be.
yeah.
But
But
yeah,
oh, the
man.
part where he says, like my soul is painted like the wings of butterflies, fairy tales of yesterday grow old and never die, like chills every single time I listen to that song.
100%. Yeah, it's just Queen was an amazing band, and when I saw that movie Bohemian Rhapsody, oh Jesus, that was great.
It
I thought
was
that was amazing.
it was definitely like a nostalgia trip. I feel like I saw it once when it came out. I liked watching it. I know if I go back and watch it like critically and I think about like all the like historical inaccuracies and stuff, I'm gonna drive myself nuts. So I just haven't.
I mean, they were pretty accurate. I mean, especially with Live Aid, if you get like a side by side, it was
Oh, I mean,
almost
like
right down to the.
yeah, as far as like the imagery, like the crowds, the setup and
Mhm.
everything. I mean, just like order of events and like
Yeah, I
names and
mean,
places, things like that. They
unfortunately, you
definitely,
have to do that because of movie and stuff. You only have so
yeah,
much time.
and they obviously like,
Sucks.
they like for some reason they kept it to that. They kept it to that rating, so they couldn't like really cuss in it, which is
Yeah, they
hilarious
couldn't
because
go
like,
crazy.
yeah, I think if they'd leaned into it more like they did at the Elton John movie, they would have had a lot
Yeah.
better time. But even so, I thought there was some stuff that I thought was really cool. I thought Mark Martell's vocals for Freddie Mercury were pretty spot on when he did that. Like the audio for a few of those clips, and I thought that Rami Malek's singing was also really impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Just moving on to my next question here. If there was anyone you could collaborate at all with, who would it be?
Ooh, see, that gives me some leeway because like you didn't necessarily say a musician. Because
Oh,
like
anyone.
yeah, oh my god, I feel like as a nerdcore artist, like there's some people that you just kind of have like immediately just have to say just in order to like possibly will it into existence. So like Megan is like pretty high up
Believe it or
here.
not, I've done that before. I have gotten two people that I've interviewed to collaborate with each other. So choose your words wisely.
Well, if you if you
Right?
interview Megan the Stallion or Dochi, tell them
I can get Megan Thee Stallion. All right, give me like next weekend.
yeah, yeah, perfect. Just send them my way. See what we can do.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, those two are both incredible, and like I've been especially well, not one of them is especially incredible, but especially recently, I've been listening to a ton of Dochi.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
they're
everybody
great.
has like oh yeah, I I could just divert the entire rest of the rest of the interview to this. Um, I don't even remember
Absolutely.
if I answered the question. Oh, who would
No,
I
you
collaborate
said,
with?
yeah, I think it was Dochi.
Oh yeah. Also, I'll put this out there. Jer, aka Scott2 Network.
Okay.
huge fan, fellow non-binary musician.
Yeah.
I would like absolutely love to do a ska song together, or to do a like feature verse, or to do a like to rap a verse, or to like literally just play the trombone and send me a sample and I'll remix it. Like I yeah, what one of my like dream collabs for sure. I've had that
Yeah.
Scottoon Network hat for ages and ages.
I didn't even write this question down. Are you a one-man band or does anyone help you with the music making process?
Yeah. So like uh kind of just to tie in like music influences, the first artist that I was like super duper into was Owl City. And then from that I
Yeah.
found, Adam
Hell yeah.
Young's other projects, all the way down to, Swimming with Dolphins and like
Hmm.
Port Blue and like
Will not believe your eyes. 10
yeah,
million.
like
I used to sing
yeah,
that
I
shit
was
all the time in middle school.
yeah, of course. Everyone did. And then it was like the MySpace era. Hello Seattle, I think, was like the big hit from
Yeah.
MySpace, and then Fireflies, and then obviously Good Time later. I think both of those went platinum. But anyway, so I was very inspired when I realized that this was somebody making everything like by himself. Um, and I wanted to do that. I had no idea what I was doing. So for a long time, like I've always done everything all by myself to answer the question.
Hmm.
Um, and occasionally like I'll collaborate with other people, but I'm mostly like when I started making music, I had really no internet connection to speak of. I had like
Okay.
just enough internet to sometimes be able to like upload something that I made, but pretty much never be able to like browse the web or like really download anything, or to like I can use any software that relied on the internet.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, to begin with, I was using like demo version of FL Studio without that, like without having a manual for it and not knowing like how to do anything other than use the sequencer. And then I was accidentally doing like almost like like manual soundboard stuff, because I was having to like route my computer's audio output like back into the input into Audacity so I could like record beats that I made, so I could then like
God.
chop those up and then like rap over
Yikes.
them with like a $5 like plastic like headset mic that I had. This I'm talking when I was like 13 now. Like
Holy
this
shit.
was this was a long time
I was
ago.
like, I thought my computer was bad. Like, I had a really crappy computer. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but what you're describing, yikes.
Oh yeah. I'm this machine probably had 2 gigs of RAM if we're generous.
That sounds about right.
Um
Got to go to the
and,
Walmart parking lot for an internet connection.
yeah. I mean, like we didn't I'll tell you, we did not live in a town big enough for a Walmart.
Bro, now you're describing Iowa. Jesus, he's throwing shots over
I
here.
mean,
Just...
Indiana, people constantly confuse the
Oh,
two,
yeah.
so it's
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
shake
Gosh,
hands
we could have done this live.
across that fence. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, did I answer the
Two
question?
gigs of RAM. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't remember
It
what the question was, but
was
just
just who would you
oh yeah,
collaborate with?
oh no, I think the current question was how, like have do I do everything myself?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And but yeah, I've gone through, I've taught myself everything over the years, like, and occasionally watched like YouTube tutorials, and just like read through manuals. I definitely have a lot of stuff that like I do not do the best way.
Mhm.
But I've also realized that like it doesn't matter how you do things as long as it sounds good. So now I'm
Yeah,
working on the
no,
sounds good part.
100%. Yeah. I
But
think yeah, that's kind of how I view music. I don't care who you are or what you do. It's just like if you got good music, you got good music. Or if you got
yeah,
a good show, you got a good show. I do
for
not care
sure.
about the rest.
And one
But
thing that like
yeah.
has been like told to me time and time again by people like more experienced is
Mm,
that like the like people vibe with the song first, and then like
yeah.
then maybe they care about like how good the mix is and stuff like that, which
Hmm.
is something that I try to tell myself, especially when I like, I mean, you mentioned Bunny Problems earlier. That's literally a song where like I uploaded it to YouTube and then went like fuck, the bass is way too loud for the YouTube version. It's going to
I think
compress
you
it all
may
weird.
mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It
so
was
it's
like
like,
better on Spotify or something.
exactly. It's better. It's important to me that people know that that song sounds way better on literally any streaming platform or on like YouTube Music even than it does just in the music
Yeah,
video
for
itself.
sure.
Because these things happen, and I just have to tell myself people like people will find the song however they find it, they'll vibe with it or whatever, but like they just care about the song.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, Like I've
Yeah,
done that plenty of times. Gosh, you
yeah.
don't want to know what my earlier videos looked like. God, those were awful.
Well, and
But
that's the thing too. Like, I feel in a lot of ways kind of lucky to have been making things for a long time without having like I've had the opportunity to make way more things than I've ever had the opportunity to post,
mhm,
especially in the early years. So like, I feel like all the worst stuff that I made, like nobody or barely anybody saw, and
yeah.
now I still feel disproportionately awkward about stuff that I think I could have done better at, but it's not. I at least know that like nobody's seeing my like very first attempts at music, which like I cannot stress enough.
hmm
It's completely fine and good to learn things from scratch. I'm just glad that I don't have to learn this particular one from scratch.
Yeah, I've done a couple of that, made a couple of shit posts and stuff like that, and just completely gone crazy with the editing process to learn how to edit. I mean, that's how I got my start. Just playing a
Yeah.
bunch of War Thunder and edit the crap out of it on over it. It worked. I got like 24,000 views on like a couple of
Yeah,
those videos, and I was like, damn, okay.
it's addictive.
It is. It is. It's just really fun to make.
Yeah.
But I guess just moving on, next question. Do you have a favorite song you wrote? Like what makes it special to you? What's your
Yeah.
favorite song you wrote?
I feel like yeah, I feel like I always when people ask me this question, I always want to say like a super recent song so that it like gets a boost. But like honestly, I think that time and time again, I come back to Tanjiro's Lullaby as being like um maybe just like the best song that I've written or what I consider the best or like the most I don't know. To me it's just like it's exactly what I wanted it to be and that feels rare. I think that maybe like in terms of songs that I just think like I really like there's songs I like for different reasons. I think like Bunny Boy is a song that I just have a strong like a very
hmm
like a soft spot for um because I think it's just like a really fun song. Um
Yeah.
and like I'd like hope that it eventually like pops off for some reason. But yeah, and just like yeah, just consistently I think Tanjiro's Lullaby that was a song that I wrote at like at a difficult point in my life, as many of my
hmm
songs, especially my songs that sound like that, have been. Um, and yeah, I just remember like that being one of those songs where a lot of it came to me very quickly. And then like when I went to record it, like that felt very quick as well. And it just felt like I felt like I experienced that song in a very emotional way, like as I was creating it and as I was recording it. And I
hmm
feel like every time that I listen to it, or every time that like people, you know, tell me that like that they listen to it, it yeah, it just still seems like it hasn't lost anything, which I think is really cool. To see
Yeah.
something from that long ago, and I know that like that's also a song that's been significant to other people, which I think makes it even more significant to me. Just like
Yeah, for sure.
you're always trying to communicate as an artist, and like whether that's like to be heard or to be able to hear other people. I think it's super
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, for me it was kind of more simpler. So I found Lackadaisy and then Electro Swing, and I was just kind of building on that because my first few interviews was Hugo Payon, Jamie Berry, big Electro Swing artist, literally created the entire genre.
Yeah,
And then I saw your Lackadaisy stuff, and that was actually really, really good, especially more popular one, the Lackadaisy Electro Swing. That was kind of big. I'm surprised Tracy Butler didn't talk about that. But then recently,
I think I think
um,
I think
did she
Tracy
mention it?
did maybe back when I don't remember if it was that one or one of them, but I know that
This is one
Tracy
of
has
them. Okay.
at least interacted with some of them, like reposted, retweeted something. So I know that
Good.
Tracy is
Good.
aware, if that's a concern.
Good. That's all I
I've
need to
not
know.
spoken to Tracy or anything like that,
Don't worry,
but
we will. Anyways,
but I
just give
think
me 2 weeks.
there's that acknowledgement, which has made me
Good.
happy when
Well,
I've seen
like
it.
Ramshackle, when I saw like who's the creator of Ramshackle got on your the
Oh, is that
Ramshackle song.
ZZ?
ZDZ, yeah, that's right. And comment, I thought that was pretty cool. How
That
she
was
was
very
just
cool.
yeah.
A lot of the cast actually came by and left comments, which I thought was
I didn't
very,
realize
very
I got
nice of them.
65 million. I watched that like a while ago and I was
The
like that
pilot,
was
you
at one
mean?
or two. Yeah, the pilot.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
just like, holy shit.
Yeah, I love Ramshackle. I can't recommend Ramshackle enough. I think it's exactly the kind of content I want to see right now. It's very anti-capitalist
Yeah.
in a way that matches
Well,
my
I love the
energy.
twist with the angel baby and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I guess we're going with this route.
Yeah, and that allowed
I
me
love that part.
a really fun moment in in the music video. I mean that whole thing
Music of that was good. It's
was
very
like
catchy. Very good.
was able to like inspire I don't know. I really like using sort of like over the top like pseudo religious like vocabulary in songs.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I think it's just something that like I have just like uh I don't know, just like I feel like I just have a way with it.
Yeah.
And
No, it's awesome.
it's just fun, and I think that it lends this like I don't know. I think that like comic religiosity in nerdcore songs is something that always hits. And I see a lot of it in Stoops's music, and also Maguire's music. I think that's something that they share in common. And I'm like, well, I can't sing like Maguire, and I don't have sets like Stoops. Um,
For sure.
but I do know a hell of a lot of cool phrases. So I just put them in shit.
Yeah, for sure. I guess speaking about that subject matter, I'm more of a you know, I approach this entire industry, the entire indie animation, the whole nine yards, Amazing Digital Circus, Lackadaisy, everything from like a business standpoint. I remember being in business statistics class, literally calculating how many views per day TDAC was getting because it was insane. It was like 355 million. Put that in perspective, TDAC pilot episode has more views than Kendrick Lamar's Ain't Like Us music video. I'm not kidding. That's a real fact. Go look it up. That is beyond insanity. And then of course, the whole Disney stuff with the whole writer's strike happening, and then it was just down, 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 indie animation up, up, up. And it was kind of an underdog story, if you will. I might make something about that one day because
Yeah,
it's so interesting looking at the numbers and stuff like that. Like Ramshackle, 69 million, nice. The the Lackadaisy pilot. I'm hoping episode one comes out very soon. I know they've done, the shorts and stuff like that, but it's been a year and a half, so.
yeah. I think I have seen some progress stuff for Lackadaisy. I want to
Oh
say that
yeah,
that's coming like fairly soon. But yeah,
I would say
I
by
think that
fall for sure.
that's really what we've had in these strikes. We've had because we had like music industry like hangups as well last year. So then
Mhm.
so we were fortunate to have Not Like Us, and then we were fortunate to have just a ton of indie animation that kind of
Yeah, for
got
sure.
us through the year.
Yeah, I don't even. It was just crazy. I mean, with COVID and everything, they were talking about that, and then Has Been a Hotel, and then of course, Hell of a Boss and stuff like
Mhm.
that
And the
popped
whole like
off.
Vivzy Pop like production line has been like really like prolific, if nothing else.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it's just so I didn't really like Has Been a Hotel as much as Hell of a Boss because Brendan Rodgers was kind of just doing his own thing because it's Brendan Rodgers is Brendan Rodgers, but it was just great to see, them pop off like that. And then, of course, TDAC and all that stuff. I was there really, really early. I was there very, very early, kind of when all the hype was still brand new. Because we weren't, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, like numbers wise. Like, it's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, I remember like I don't
It's
remember exactly when I
equivalents to a lot of dollars. Like if you
yeah.
estimate, it's a lot of fucking money.
I think I don't remember exactly when I got TADC, but it was it must have been pretty early because I remember checking back and being like, "Oh, is this like is this the new thing?" Because I hadn't seen an explosion like that since um like something Vizzy Pop. Like
Maybe. Well, I was thinking maybe all the way back to FNAF days, because not because Busy Pop only got to like 90
yeah,
million,
but I
and
mean
that
I'm
was
talking I'm
impressive.
talking like indie animation specifically, like
Oh, okay. Then it
pilots.
would probably be Busy Pop's
I
Hello
will also say
Boss.
with
Then.
Ramshackle, that's one that when the or like original pilot for Ramshackle was out, not when it
Hmm.
first came out, but like before the full length pilot came
Okay.
out. That was one that I had seen and had been on my radar for like a while, and then I forgot about it, and then I saw the full pilot, and I was like, wait, have I seen this before? But it had just come
Hmm.
out, so then I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, that's why I felt like I was able to make a song about it like right after I watched it because I like already had the original in my head from when I had
Yeah.
seen it. And actually, I think there's even some footage from the original pilot in my AMV that I put just to be like, hey, I've also seen that old one, and I'm gonna reference it, and I know what's up with this,
Yeah, for
which
sure.
is why it's it's cool to see some love back from the creators because it's like
Hmm.
I like I care about your thing, so I put like you know some work into it, and like you see that I care, so you put some love back. I think
Oh
that's really
yeah.
cool. It's really cool getting those interactions with other creators online, and
Yeah.
sometimes be like ships passing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
nice
hoping
to
to talk to some of them before everything pops off here with new episodes and whatnot. Because I understand it takes a long, long time to make, Ramshackle, Lackadaisy, like
yeah.
even a new. I'm surprised, honestly, I'm kind of surprised with how fast TDAC is going. And I know Gooseworks has said they're only making, I think it was like 7 episodes, which honestly really sucks. I think they should keep going because I think there's a lot of still unanswered questions. Of course, maybe they will answer them in the future, but I mean, it's kind of like it's always like a mystery with half of them,
Yeah.
and you're just gonna have to put the pieces together.
Yeah, I think these days, like, I don't know, after being in so many fandoms and getting into so many shows, I think these days I'm almost happier when I know that a series is gonna be short or that it's like that its end is planned. Or even
Hmm.
just that like a season is gonna be short and then its end is planned because to me it means that like things are a lot more like defined. What I worry about is if something was gonna go for a long time and then it gets canceled and has to wrap up quickly.
Yeah,
And I also worry about stuff that just goes for so long that it loses the plot. I feel like honestly,
that's
like
happened before.
I feel like all the best shows are like 1 or 2 seasons. I mean, like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a paradox because it's like having more of a good show is good, but the more of a good show you have, the like worse the average episode gets. And
Yeah, for sure.
I'm also the
Well,
kind who can rewatch my comfort shows. So
yeah, yeah. Man, I grew up on Gravity Falls, and that was the shit, man.
yeah, two
And
seasons,
like
right?
2 seasons, that's it.
Yeah,
Damn, that was wild. That's when I really started getting into other fandoms and stuff like that. I was like, all right, I'm sold. Let's go. Let's do
yeah.
it. Getting the books and everything, going the whole 9 yards. But yeah. I guess bringing it back to questions and stuff like that, do you have like any hobbies outside of music that influence your creativity or anything like that?
Yeah, I've always kind of just done a bunch of different stuff. The things that I post online or the things that people like see that I post online. Before I did music, I was a writer,
Okay.
and I was like mostly a fanfic writer, and then I also did just some like Wattpad stuff. Um, which all that's
All
long
right.
gone because
If we're
that's what
going
I
that
did.
route, we're going that route.
Actually, it's funny. I never wrote anything like risque on those sites.
Okay, good.
Um, Although I definitely read a lot of risque shit,
Well, no shit. It's my
which
bad.
was
What'd you expect?
pretty awesome. But
God.
yeah, I mean, like, so I've from time to time I write. I don't publish very much of what I write anymore, but like it's always been an outlet. And I like to find and repair certain old tech. Like I like old VCRs and like
Hmm.
I mean even DVD players now are old. So
Oh
those are
God, don't
kind of
tell me
fine and
that.
repair and but yeah, and like I've got like a VHS camera and a lot of cassettes. I collect cassettes.
Yeah,
Um
damn.
yeah, it's the hard thing is just trying to like not pick up a lot of new like gear for new hobbies all the time
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm not a very organized person, so it kind of just ends up everywhere.
Me neither. Yeah, oh gosh, I don't want to look at this room. I got VHS right here. But yeah, I mean, it's just good to have those kind of hobbies. I'm all over the place, you know. Sometimes I'm talking about music, sometimes I'm talking about sports. Today is Super Bowl Sunday. I got a lot of friends
Oh,
that are
that's
going
true.
absolute
Go
nuts.
birds.
Damn, let's fucking go. Damn right. Saquon Barkley, save us. Fuck Travis Kelsey. Uh, this guy gets it. But
Fuck Harrison
so
Butker.
yeah, I'm jumping all over the place, but it's just always so great to like talk to people and just have a casual conversation. Like one thing I want to do this year a little bit more is with these interviews that I do something more live. Unfortunately, that costs money and a lot of cameras and lighting and all that good stuff, and I got to get a camera crew, and that's hard. So
I have not done anything with
I mean, I'm
like
five
camera.
hours from St. Louis. I could talk to Tracy
Yeah.
Butler live. All right, we can get a whole shit going. All
I
right.
think the last time that I set up 3-point lighting myself was in college.
That's yeah. I'm currently in college. I'm junior year, kind of finishing up with business and stuff
Oh,
like
good
that.
luck.
Yeah, it sucks. Anyways,
I don't miss it.
yeah, yeah, it's
I
been
do miss the facilities and like having cool like access to cool gear and stuff.
yeah. I mean, that's always good to have and stuff like that. But yeah, just kind of wrapping stuff up here. I guess you kind of answered this question. If you weren't a musician, what do you think you would be doing? Like, what job career would you go into?
Like if I had to pick something for money, I'd probably just go back to being a janitor because I really like doing that.
All
It's
right.
just like work that I enjoy. But if I were like doing something else creative as a job,
Hmm.
probably writing. Probably
Yeah.
I think probably writing like OC fiction and
Hmm.
possible smut. I think that that's like the likeliest thing.
Jesus. Yikes. Okay. Hey, you gotta make your bread. How do you make your bread? But
Yeah,
anyways,
absolutely.
yeah. And just another question in this wrap stuff up. How do you approach the recording process? How do you usually go about making your music?
Yeah. Well, so since I make my own beats, and I record myself and I mix everything, sometimes I am able to go into stuff with more of like, and it's kind of like doing everything at once. It's almost like I'm braiding a song rather than like painting it in layers. Um, but it's like I don't know. I guess if I was like making a song from scratch, I would usually start with the beat. If it's a rap song, I might write a few bars and then make a beat that goes along with it. But
Hmm.
usually I find that if I write something and then make a beat, it doesn't fit the beat. So
Yeah,
it's better to make the beat first, or the instrumental.
for
So yeah,
sure.
for my typical song, I make a beat, then I listen to it on loop for a long time, and then I kind of go away, and then I just think about things that maybe could go over it. And then I come back and yeah, and then I just kind of like try out what I wrote, just a little segment to see if it goes with what I made. But as far as like making a little beat segment, I usually start with either like drums or just a simple like sample or a melody or something. Usually something that
Yeah.
like has a bit of a beat to it. But I start with the simple elements first, and I see if I feel inspired while I'm making it. Usually, I just I do the least work possible to get something that is like a little groove or a loop,
Yeah.
so that I can see if I actually like it before I go any further. But yeah, usually as I work, I'm like also kind of like mixing as I go, which
Mm.
like depending on how you do it can be a problem later on. But also it can be a really good way to just do stuff quickly. So there's trade-offs. I think that if I were to switch to somebody else's workflow, I would definitely just like go with what Longest Solo ever does and just like
Yeah.
just step by step just do that
Bro,
exactly.
some of his craziest songs were like meant for something completely different, and then he would just take all that beat and mixing and just move it to something completely different. He would have
Yeah.
like all these different presets as I watched like his stream, and he would just have all of these different mixes that he just
Yeah.
makes on his free time. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, TDAC, you go here, Lackadaisy, you go here, and then here, you go here, all that different stuff. And it's just pretty cool to see that come in
Yeah.
fruition, how he's able to do that.
It's an incredibly satisfying system and one that I so far do not have the patience to stay on my own on my own process.
For sure. Yeah, I've tried making my own music a couple of times. I made a couple covers. I'm more of a bass, so I can't like hit everything, but usually in that old swing vibe, I could usually it's more friendly to bass
Hmm.
singers.
Yeah,
But
the Bing Crosby songs are
yeah,
like
exactly. Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, Nat King
I was
Cole.
just gonna say Nat King Cole, those low voices.
Absolutely.
Burr Lives
So
if you're feeling festive.
yeah, I've tried to make a couple of songs like from scratch, and man, did it not go well. I
It's
did
tough.
lyrics before a beat, and damn, like I would have like
Yeah.
a perfect beat in my head, and I'm like, all right, this is how we're gonna make it. And then I go to the computer, ready to go, no idea how to put it together, and I'm
Yeah.
just hitting random shit.
That's how I feel when I try to draw something. It's like in my head, I'm like, okay, this is
hmm
exactly what I want to draw. And then I could even be looking at what I'm trying to draw. And I like set the pen
Yeah,
on the paper and I'm like, somehow the
it
line
doesn't
is not
work.
the right shape of what I'm looking at. It's just a mystery to me, but
It always
also a
is.
mystery that becomes a little bit less of a mystery every time that I make an attempt.
Yeah. I always go trial by fire. That's how I learn. I always go trial by error, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's how I learn. Like I have to mess up like 150 times before I actually get it down, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, just to wrap up, this is the final question. I'm sorry to do this, man. I always do the hardest to last, frankly. So, all right, are we seeing Lackadaisy episode 1 before or after GTA 6? It's the people want to know. All right?
Oh god, I'm the wrong person to ask. I've never
That is
played
true.
a GTA game. Um,
All right, I'm sending you a copy. What's your address?
this has all just been an elaborate ruse to get me to say my address on the internet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's P.O. Box. No.
Where the hell is it? Yeah,
uh, no.
but yeah. So,
I'm
what
gonna
is
say
your
I'm gonna say
prediction?
before. I'm gonna say we'll see it
That's
before.
the fair bet. Probably they're probably waiting for summer. Let's be honest here. They're just waiting for
Yeah.
summer. Everyone gets out of school. People have more free time,
Yeah. I
and
have
they
been
probably
rocking
have it
that.
wrapped up.
I have been listening to that San Andreas soundtrack a lot lately.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, people have been looking at, well, as a businessman, Take-Two production stock went up by 23% just recently because they confirmed in their earnings reports for quarter three that GTA 6 is scheduled for this fall, no matter what. So that's kind of like definitive.
Damn.
Like,
I guess
if you
that
say
means
it
that
in an
the
earnings report, you have to abide by that by
I guess
legal contract.
I guess that means the video game industry is all done with layoffs then, right? It seems to
Nah.
be going well.
That well, for Rockstar, yeah, they just put out masterpiece after masterpiece, so they don't have to deal with that. But yeah, there's gonna be layoffs. I guarantee you there's gonna be layoffs somewhere. But I don't know what industry. It could be like Blizzard or something like that. It
Yeah.
depends, of
Well,
course.
I mean the cuts have to come from somewhere and it better not be the boss's bottom line.
Yeah, but yeah, it depends. But we'll see. All right, hey, thanks for talking to me today. It's been awesome. Go Birds.
Go birds.
Go Birds, man. Fuck yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll see you around, man. Thanks
All
for
right, take
coming
care.
on. Yeah, take care.